We're going on safari to the famous expansive plains of the Sarengeti and surrounding nature parks, high in the mountains of Tanzania off the east coast of Africa. Rebecca did a ton of research to find a tour operator that was responsive to her emails, that went to the parks that we wanted to see, that had the accommodations that we preferred, and that did not have prices that were astronomical. We were in Tanga on the Indian Ocean coast of Tanzania. We didn't want to fly to Arusha. We wanted to see Tanzania from the ground. So we paid $8 for a bus ticket that would go the 204 miles, 328 kilometers from Tanga to Arusha. This would give us a great view of the people and how they live in Tanzania. We arrived in Arusha 3 days before the start of our safari. This gave us plenty of time to look around this second largest city in Tanzania. On the morning of the second day, we met up with Hamadi, the owner of Face of Africa, and over coffee discussed our upcoming adventure. But also, Rebecca had communicated so much with Face of Africa, she wanted to see the people behind all those emails. So we went to the office of Face of Africa and met the people who were in accounting, reservations, advertising, and the people that keep all of the organizing and the logistics straight. How they could do that just for the two of us was impressive, but now there's going to be 3 more people, all with different desires and different accommodations, and somehow they keep it all organized. But also, we were on a mission. We had to make a beanbag. Many of these Land Rovers have sandbags, small sandbags to help support a camera, but for telephoto images or video, a much softer beanbag is necessary so the camera will nestle into it rather than rolling around on the top of a sandbag. So Hamadi was kind enough to take us through the local market and show us around. We were on a mission to look for beans and the material to make a camera supporting beanbag. Ah, that's a good one. Yeah. lots of water. Yes. I eat lots of coconuts.
Every day.
Coconut.
Every day.
Every day.
He's 89.
Yeah.
And that's why he's so healthy.
That's why you're very strong. You still look like very strong, man.
Lots of coconut. That's a secret.
Because of coconut? So maybe you could have one today because it's your pleasure. Yeah?
Okay. We finally found the mixed beans that would be perfect. But the thing in Tanzania, you never ever pay the first price offered. How much is 1 kilo?
1 kilo is 6,500.
Whoa.
Okay, for you, because you're going to make a move, I give for 5.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's still too much.
How much?
How about 2? 2 per kilo.
Okay, 3,000.
So we ended up paying about $1.32 for 1 kilo of beans.
But not 1,000.
Oh, how much?
This is 25.
Oh, 25. Don't you have any?
So we ended up paying 1,000 shillings, about 44 cents, for a large bandana. But also the arm from a long sleeve shirt or a pant leg would have worked equally as well. Later in the afternoon, we moved out of our very basic accommodations that we had arranged for ourselves and into a much nicer hotel the tour operator arranged for us. We could see that they were leaving nothing to complain about. Hamadi will be traveling with us on this safari, and Dixon will be our full-time driver. And in the morning, they came to pick us up, and we were on our way.
We're going on a safari.
We rounded up the rest of our new safari mates, and we're off to see the big animals. Andrew is visiting from California. Dina is taking a hiatus from work and traveling the world. She's from Massachusetts. Isaac just came down from the top of Kilimanjaro, making that long hike. He's now living and working in Boston. Rebecca and I are from Rhode Island. For 12 years, we have been sailing the world on our 40-foot sailboat, which is right now anchored in Tanga. In all these game parks, the drivers are very helpful with each other to let the others know where the animals are.
Now they are always thinking about to build the house. Now they're thinking. Look, Mela, most beautiful one. Oh, good kiss.
Hello there, honey. You're looking good today.
Yeah.
And what's the black one called again?
Black heron.
Just the black heron. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting these 4 monkeys and the little baby, so they're all facing this way, finally. Okay, let's poke his head back out. That's perfect. We saw incredible numbers of animals and variety of animals at the first park, and still there's so many more days and other parks to visit. But before it gets too late in the day, we need to make camp. Some in our group chose to use the dome tents, which are very economical, and others decided to have a more solid roof over their head with indoor plumbing. After a great breakfast, we loaded up and got underway. Zebras and other animals will stand side by side, head to tail. That gives them eyes in both directions. They need all the protection they can get out here. There's a lot of lions, hyenas, and other predators just waiting out there in the grass.
Actually. Oh, look at the green lizard right there on the rock right here.
Oh yeah.
Isn't he beautiful? What is it called?
Lizard.
You see that rain out in the distance? Many of us people on the safari would love to have some rain drop on our heads, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Tip number 4, bring some paper dust masks and maybe a couple for the driver. Just after noon, after looking at countless numbers and species of animals, we finally get a little break where we can use the restroom and eat a nice box lunch. And this is tip number 5. In the morning for breakfast, don't drink much coffee or tea because it can be many hours in between bathroom breaks. The animals in these game parks have absolutely no concern about the Land Rovers that move around these dirt roads. This hyena, though, was pushing the boundaries. He was laying half in a mud puddle on the dirt road. But eventually he did get up, and it became quite obvious that he had a very damaged left hind leg. There's no way in the world he would be able to catch any food, but it won't be long before he is food for something else. At first, we thought there was 2, maybe 3 lions out in the grass, but then there was 4, and then 5, and then we stopped counting.
Oh, everybody's doing it.
We were the first Land Rover at this tree, but because of good communications with the radio, it wasn't long before all the other Land Rovers in the vicinity joined us. But this also shows just how close you can get to these animals, and also why, no matter how bad you need to go to the bathroom, Hamadi had hired a cook for the campers so they could have their breakfast, lunch, and dinner all prepared for them, and also an extra hand to help set up and break down the tents. Well, the rest of us went over to the retired person's campground, and in our tent we had full standing headroom and even some indoor plumbing. And just before sundown, one of the Maasai workers was nice enough to make a bit of a bonfire for us. And this is tip number 6. bring DEET mosquito repellent. Skin so soft just doesn't work in Africa. And tip 7, bring long pants and a jacket, preferably with a hood. It gets very chilly at night and well into the morning. The Ngorongoro crater is 2,000 feet, that is 610 meters deep, and takes up 100 square miles, which is 260 square kilometers. As we descended into the Ngorongoro crater, we stopped so I could take a nice scenic picture. And when I turned around, I couldn't believe how all these people just came out of nowhere like a magic trick. And they were forming up to have their picture taken. But as I was signaled from inside of the vehicle, don't take any pictures, because a big discussion about how much the payment will then ensue. So I got back in and we drove on down the hill.
Why wouldn't he try to eat them?
Fast. I was hoping one to walk in front of him.
Ni nyumba hizo.
We spent 6 days bouncing over rocky, muddy, dusty roads in Africa, looking at countless numbers of animals and animal species. There's no way in the world I can show all of them in this short video. So after days on safari, we saw animals stalking their prey, we saw animals eating what they had killed, but we never saw any animals in the act of actually catching anything. So that leaves a good challenge for us. We'll have to come back and go on safari again.